Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a review today of the Mcgrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I purchased it during the Sephora VIB event, and I've had a chance to test it, so I wanted to do a review on it today and demo it so you can see me applying it and what it looks like and my thoughts and everything. I picked up the shade Light 4, and I actually think it's a really good match. I was thinking it was going to be a little too dark. I really wanted light 3, but I'm glad I got this because I like the color and it'll work. Sometimes it'll work a little bit when I have a spray tan. I can just put a bronzer over it, but it'll also work really well in the winter. All right, let's talk coverage first. To me, this is a sheer medium coverage. It's not sheer, but I don't think it's completely medium coverage, but I feel like if you just maybe stipple it on in a few places a little bit heavier, you can build up some coverage. So it's not what I'm used to. I normally like a medium coverage. Not full, but I do like coverage. So that is not necessarily a con for me, but I mean, I do like a little bit more coverage, but it's enough to cover, spots and redness and all that sort of thing. It's definitely not a tinted moisturizer or anything like that. It definitely is more of a foundation, and you can build it up, but you're never going to get significant coverage with this. This is a skin-like foundation. That is the best way for me to describe it. It mimics the look of skin. It is not velvety, it's not matte, it's not dewy or radiant. There is like a luminous aspect to it, and I feel like it's more of a satin finish to me. That's what I get when I wear it, and when I apply it, I'm like, yeah, I can see like a little bit of like luminosity obviously in my forehead, but it's more of a satin finish. And depending on your skin type, it may look more satiny or more natural. If your skin is very dry, it probably would look more natural, versus if your skin is a little more oily, it's probably going to be more of a satin finish and have a little more of a glow. And okay, now that I've applied it, as good as I'm going to get it here. All right, what next? So longevity-wise, this is where it started to get a little bit difficult for me. Some days it would last all day and it looked really great, and then some days, like midday or later on the day, I'd begin to get very shiny on my forehead and on my nose, which was weird. Like it would begin to kind of pull apart in my forehead. So it was like depending on the day. I never used a powder with it because I really wanted to see how it wore without a powder, without a primer, anything like that. Not that I wear too many of those, but I do sometimes put a powder on. And some days I would be very shiny by the end of the day, and some days I wouldn't be. My skin would look exactly as it did when I first applied it. And so I think it's just depending on temperature, how my skin is that day, like the weather outside, and how my skin is that day. Maybe my skin's a little more oily or dry. So that's what was my only kind of frustration, was it was a little inconsistent. That's why I feel like I like it and I'm going to keep it, but it's not a love for me because it was like very inconsistent. I like the skin-like effect of it. I tend to gravitate towards very velvety matte finishes, and this was a little bit different than what I go for. I like that very airbrushed, velvety finish, not too matte and definitely not too glowy or dewy. And this is definitely skin-like. So if you like a lot of coverage, or you're like me, you like a very velvety matte finish, you will definitely not like this. But if you're open to a more natural finish or a satin-like finish, I think you'll definitely love that. I'm going to finish up my makeup, and then I'll talk about different skin types and who I think it would be good for. All right, my makeup's all done, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the rest of the foundation, who I think it would be good for. I think that if you have very oily skin, you will need to manage this with a mattifying primer or a powder, because I think that satiny aspect could really begin to come out and emphasize very oily areas. If you have dry skin or normal skin, I think this would be fantastic. I don't find that it pulls on any dry patches, which I like. It just glides right on. It's not incredibly moisturizing, but it doesn't pull on dry patches. And yeah, like I said, I like it and I'm going to keep it. I also think that this would be a better foundation for fall and winter for me, and like the first part of spring than summer. Like my Dior Forever foundation, which is a very velvety matte finish, my Lancome Tenti Doll, those are my summer foundations and they last a long time. They definitely keep me very matte. This, because it does have more of that natural skin finish, slightly satiny finish, I would get more oily in the summer with this. So I'm gonna definitely use it going into fall and winter, and I think it's really going to thrive in that kind of weather. And that's that. Like, the color is fantastic. I really think Light 4 was a good match for me, and I definitely think I could wear it when I have a spray tan, just add some bronzer, but it'll also work well in the fall and winter for me. And if you have any questions and I haven't answered anything, definitely leave me a comment below. Oh, another thing is I just applied some concealer. So when I apply this foundation, some foundations I don't need to apply a concealer underneath my eyes. It does a good job of covering. This does not. Like, I noticed that even building it up under my eyes really didn't help to cover any darkness. So I do always need to use a concealer with this. So that's just something to note. And yeah, if you've tried this, let me know your thoughts and your skin type. And if you've found your shade, if you've been successful with finding your shade, I'm very excited because I didn't get to try 3, so I can't compare. I only tried 4 because they were out of 3, but I'm happy with this. And I'm like, I don't think I want to try anything else. I think it's a perfect match. So leave me all your comments or questions below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.